Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Wow. I've got to get up early in the morning because I got to go down the country and do a bunch of work and stuff. But I may be leaving a little bit late. I just may have to work later tomorrow because I've got some work to do in the editing because I'll be on the road tomorrow. So I want to make sure I get everything in. Wow. I think it's safe to say right now, at this moment, because things are subject to change. I tell everybody over and over and over again, don't get too excited by what you see in the beginning of the season, the first month in September, and don't get too upset because things are subject to change. You're still trying to figure out who are actually the good teams and who are the bad teams. You can infer what you may have, but there's no guarantees on this. We've seen teams, and I hate to keep using the Cardinals for this, but a Cardinal team that started out 4-0 and looked like world beaters that ended up losing the next 4 games. We've seen teams like the Giants at the middle of the season that are literally looking like they're on life support, and they go on and beat an 18-0 team in the Super Bowl. We've seen the Dallas Cowboys start out 3-5 and come back and win the division, something that has never happened before. So don't get too excited. But right now, the Dallas Cowboys, you have to say, without the shadow of a doubt, and I know we'll have the trolls and the haters and stuff that are in here that will say, Cowboys suck. And I'm sure tomorrow what we'll hear is from the talking heads, well, the Eagles aren't a good team, so we really don't know what the Cowboys are. And they keep getting these takeaways. So without these takeaways, they aren't any good. That's 8 takeaways so far in 3 games. It's crazy because it took us 8 games to get 6 last year. But before I get into that, Joseph Conley, I got to ask you something, man. Joseph, you're cool with me. You sent me the hot sauce and everything else. I love that. I messed up because I was supposed to meet you in D.C. and I forgot about that meetup and things. But you're like a Jekyll and Hyde. Sometimes I'm not sure if you're a Cowboy fan or if you're a Cowboy hater. Because one day you're talking about how great Dak's going to be, and another day you're talking about, that Dak is trash. I don't understand what it is. You literally before the game were saying that the Eagles are going to blow us out like you were an Eagle fan. And then other days we turn around and we win, and all of a sudden you're like, yeah, we're great and everything. So I'm trying to understand, is this a case like happened with Hawk 215, my main man, who he lost a bet to an Eagle fan where he had to pretend to be an Eagle fan and troll me. I'm just trying to understand what's going on with that because you're on both sides of the fence. I mean, pick a side. Either be a Cowboy fan and support him and at least wait until the game's over before you start saying what's going to happen, or just be a hater all the time. I'm too old to try and figure you out. Philly 500. I went into this game because I wasn't sure. My own words where I say, don't get too excited or too upset by what's going on, is you just don't know what you have. Yeah, we ended up getting the win against San Diego, right? We end up going pretty good against Tampa Bay. But then you see Tampa Bay, everybody's throwing the football in Tampa Bay because Kellen Moore has basically put out the blueprint on how you attack Tampa Bay. Abandon the run, just go with the pass. Get the ball downfield. And that's worked well. So you don't know if the Cowboys were actually good or if Tampa Bay was just bad. Or maybe you just got lucky against the Chargers or what. And this is what you don't know yet. But I think I'm going to go on the side of the Cowboys are actually pretty good. I still think the Eagles have a long ways to go. Their offensive line hurt them. That what scares me is I'm worried about Tyler Badish and Connor Williams. The two of them did not have great games. Hargrove blew them up. When you get really good defensive, nose tackles and nose guards, they are eating those guys up the middle. Connor Williams and Tyler Badish Hargrove bull rushed them into that fumble in the end zone. And that's a concern for us as we look at some of the teams that have great inside presence. Philly 500. It was funny because Philly sent me a game face picture. I think he looked like he was constipated, in which case he probably has released all of that now because he's pissed after this game. But he kept sending me text after text. I was busy today. I'm not going to lie to you. I had to go by my parents' house, drop off some wood. I had to pick up the sub to make the, the 3-foot steak and cheese sub. I had to slice the meats this morning and get that stuff together. I had to drive, literally I spent 3 hours on the road because I had to pick up this laminate and I had to stop by the store. I did all of the stops I had to do. Stop at BJ's, get some more gas. And I've been busy. And then I listened to my man Rio, the Washington football YouTuber who didn't show up on Sunday. Listen to him cry about how bad the Washington football team is. And so I really didn't have time to respond to Philly because he kept sending text after text after text. And I said, I'm going to lie low. I'm going to see what happens, and then we'll go here and talk it. Now, him and I have a bet that the loser has to wear a shirt that says, "You're my daddy." So Philly 500 has to get that shirt. And we'll deal with that because I've got to actually get it made up. So it's going to take some time. I got to find, I've got an idea of what I want it to be because of Brian SoCal. He said, in fact, I might make it a thumbnail here. But I've got to get it made up and sent to him. Game balls. We got a lot of them. Like I said, the part that worried me is up the middle of our offensive line. We got work to do with Tyler Badish and Connor Williams. But Tyron Smith, who's got on, looks like 2 elbow braces, it was literally pushing guys with one arm like he used to. That is a great thing to see him actually back at full strength again. Let me give a game ball, though, to Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard, but especially Zeke, because tonight Zeke Elliott showed to all those people that say that Zeke Elliott shouldn't start, Zeke Elliott is done. Zeke Elliott showed you, no, I'm not done, man. Zeke Elliott ran the hell out of the ball. I think 5.7 yards a carry, about 95 yards. Tony Pollard was right behind him with 60 yards. We ran the hell out of the football. We literally said, we have no respect for you, which showed when we were 4th and goal and went for it and got a touchdown. We said to the Eagles, we don't give a rat's ass about you mother humpers. We here to play football and win this game. We literally embarrassed them on that play. I'm telling you. Now, I got to give it to him. Dak Prescott, going back to the scene of the crime where he broke his ankle just short of a year ago, and to come back, run the football some, and play the way he did, 3 TD passes. It wasn't a lot of yards, efficient. But this, guys, is the way you want to play football for the Cowboys. Mix the run with the pass. You don't want to be too heavy on the run. You don't want to be too heavy on the pass. They literally kept the Eagles guessing. And the great thing about that is, if you're the Eagles defensive coordinator, what do you try and stop? You try and stop the run? Well, guess what? We'll throw it to the tight ends, and Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. We'll do that. You try and stop the wide receivers? We'll run the football. This offense is just like literally pick your poison, pick the way you want to die. That's what they do because they have so many different weapons and so many different ways that they can go. They don't get lost going home because they can go home this way, they can go home this way, they can go home this way. If the road's blocked over here, well, we can go over here. If the road is flooded out over here and that way's blocked because they're doing construction, you can go home over here. They never get stuck in traffic. And when they get Lyle Collins back, you may look at some different combinations on the offensive line. You may look at using a Connor McGovern out there. But we'll deal with that after 3 games to get Lyle Collins back. The defense, I got a scare when Micah Parsons was down. I was glad to see that he was able to come back out. But Micah Parsons is a grown-ass man. Micah Parsons, the pressure he's putting on as a defensive end, and he's flipping sides. He's going all over the place. I'm not sure that you end up keeping him at a linebacker. I think about Randy White, who was originally a linebacker, who wasn't really good, and they put him at defensive tackle, and he became a Hall of Famer. Looking at what Micah Parsons can do with so many weapons, and make no mistake about it, the Eagles were holding his ass almost every play because they couldn't control him. He is becoming a Lawrence Taylor type of a guy that literally is making some damage. He's got 2 sacks and I think 11 tackles right now in 3 games. Dude, he's on pace for like 10 sacks. Make that 12 sacks, 17 games. Keeps that up, he's going to be Defensive Rookie of the Year. I have to give credit, though. Diggs is a grown-ass man, too. Diggs is just like a ball hog. That dude is getting balls, and not only just interceptions, he's knocking the ball out of people's hands. Dude is and tackling. This brother is a beast. He is becoming a shutdown corner in the way of Jalen Ramsey. Dude is good. But got to give it credit to the whole defense, who only gave up 14 points. Yeah, the Eagles got 21, but one of them was that fumble recovery in the end zone. The defense played lights out, especially when you think of how many guys we lost on the defense that literally weren't there because of, D-Law with the injury on his foot, broken foot. You think about Bradley and you think about Keanu O'Neal, you think about Donovan Wilson. Who am I missing too? There's a couple more. If we ever get all these guys back and really get to understand this defense is going to be an absolute positive beast. And my final game ball has to go to Dan Quinn. I remember some of you people out there. Some of you people out there that when we hired Dan Quinn, y'all said he's a loser. Man, this fool, he got fired in Atlanta, man. He went to the Super Bowl and they literally ran all over him, man. They had the biggest lead in the world, lost. Look at the defense that they had last year. He's trash. Why are we bringing in this bum? Well, I tell you what. That bum that you called it actually turned around players like Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith looks like a totally different player right now. And I believe it's because of Dan Quinn realizing we're going to put people in positions to succeed, and we're going to figure out what these guys do well, and that's what we're going to use them for. Jalen Smith was so often in coverage, and he was a coverage liability. Jalen Smith was out there every single play out of necessity, and it ended up being that they figured out how to abuse him. But to take these guys that right now, you don't look at the guys on this defensive front. I mean, from Randy Gregory, Micah Parsons, and Brent Urban and OC. I don't know that there's more than 12 sacks between the whole defensive line. Yet, those guys are balling out. They put more pressure on Hurts than he could handle. And that is coaching. He got there in OTAs where these guys were there like a sponge and sucked up everything that he taught them, and they're putting it to use on the field. This team right now is looking good and definitely are heading in the right direction. So I feel great right now. And that being said, I'm going to go in here. Well, I got to put away all the cushions and stuff because I don't know if it's going to rain the next day or two while I'm not here, and I don't want them to get wet. Unfortunately, the people that said they were coming didn't come. So I think what I need to do is I need to get some of you guys that want to show up here to hang out and be part of the studio audience for our live streams. Because right now, it ain't much of a party when you only have 3 people. So we're going to work on that for the next go-round. So with that being said, I appreciate all of y'all. Shout out to everybody who tuned into our live stream. And don't worry, we're going to be cutting some of that stuff up from Philly 500's meltdowns. Yeah, you're going to like that. I'll see you on the flip side, y'all. Have a great night.